Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded that we approve the minutes. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? You want me to sign this page?
Mm-hmm.
And our only business item tonight is in preparation for the public hearing for the solar regulations at the end of the month, which assume you all know is the 30th at the high school, what's it?
Performing Arts Center.
Performing Arts Center, where it was last time, 7?
7 o'clock.
And, so this is all in prep for that. Part of that is that these regulations, at least in draft form, need to be publicly available as of tomorrow to get enough, 20 days ahead of the meeting. So we're in good shape. Darren has put them together, basically, very similar to what we did for wind. So we need to talk about those, and we could talk about, I'd like to just kind of rehash meeting format and all that also tonight for all of us, just to refresher, and any other questions as far as the next few weeks is concerned. Did everybody have a chance to look at the revised regulations? There are no changes, right, Darren, to the domestic?
There is no changes to domestic. The change will be in 14-4, commercial and utility, solar general requirements. So if you go to 14.4, section 14.4, prohibited of commercial and utility solar. 14.401, all SECS other than domestic SECS allowed as accessory uses in ordinance with this article are prohibited within the unincorporated area of Linn County. 14-402, the county has determined that non-domestic solar are incompatible with protection and enhancement of the rural character of the county. Further, limiting solar to domestic solar is consistent with the goals and objectives of preserving agricultural lands and the natural resources of the county, including environmentally sensitive areas as stated in the 2022 Linn County Comprehensive Plan. The 2022 plan further sets the objective of minimizing adverse effects of intrusive developments and land use. The county finds that non-domestic solar would create such adverse effects of intrusive development due largely to the characteristics inherent to solar farms, specifically the extreme land use.
So this is a draft, and
My only comments to it are there's several sections that are no longer in it that are still listed out.
I took it out.
No problem. Okay, perfect. Gotcha.
I noticed that today when I was looking at it.
Yeah, okay. I read through the rest of it earlier today.
Sections out. Everything after 14.4 is useless.
Paul, I have a question, if that's all right.
oh, this is just open discussion
Okay.
for us to nail this down as close as possible. None of this will be final until we actually vote on it, which I presume will be in our August meeting. That vote will say, this is what we're sending on to the commissioners. This is what's being presented to the public so that they have something to look at mostly.
My recommendation is to go through the public hearing, which is July 30th. Our next scheduled meeting is August 12th, 13th, August 13th. That way, planning and zoning can have discussion about what was talked about at the public hearing and then make a decision to take the recommendation to the county commissioners.
So go ahead.
I have a question on 14102. That's still in there? Draft? Is you talking about commercial SECS and utility SECS? So someone explain me the difference between the commercial and the utility, because I thought Heartland was going to have a utility system set up somewhere in the county. Is that right?
Before we,
Yeah, we,
Wouldn't that qualify as a utility, or is I'm just curious why this wording was still here.
it would count as a commercial because I think we decided commercial was anything under 120 acres, and utilities anything over, but it would still count as a commercial and
Utility,
non-domestic.
utility is used by the public, is correct? That's a utility, public utility?
I don't think that was our definition.
That
I
wasn't
think
the way you
utility
did it.
was just anything over a certain
No,
amount of acres.
That doesn't make sense to me.
If you go to 14201, it gives the definition, at least what's in here of it. So
Well, yeah. Doesn't satisfy mine.
yeah,
well, and that, basically we split up the commercial and utility when we wrote it the first time. And we're just leaving that split in this wording.
I just didn't want to restrict someone by wording, you know. It came down to someone like Heartland wanting to put in something they already own.
Well, the way this is written, that would be prohibited. There is only domestic, the way we're proposing it. Is that what you're asking?
That's what I'm asking.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I
Yeah.
thought there was a plan for them to put in a system.
There was,
There was. There is not now.
because we're prohibiting any
I can't hear you.
because we're prohibiting any non-domestic solar. So domestic,
You're wiping that all out.
yeah,
They had intentions, yes.
Okay. That's what I hadn't got
And
any more news on that. So,
Okay.
thank you. That'll help.
now, the way this is written, just something to keep in mind, and for the sake of discussion, this leans hard on the comprehensive plan. The way this prohibition is written leans hard on the comprehensive plan. So that's, as far as any kind of litigation would be concerned, that would be the backstop for how this is written. We have to be confident that those things are going to line up. Just throwing that out for discussion or thoughts, or just to make sure we understand. You know, like I said, the backstop for this is the comprehensive plan.
This is our facts supporting this prohibition. Because of the comprehensive plan, basically.
That's what we're arguing. Yes.
We're arguing now.
That the comprehensive plan supports prohibition? No, confused. Is that what?
That's what this, the way we're writing this as proposed is leaning hard on the comprehensive plan. That's what I'm saying. They said, as stated in the 2022 comprehensive plan.
Sure.
Talk about findings like we did with wind apart from this and what role that plays in what we send back to the commissioners, because I'm regularly confused about that.
So you'll have to detail findings to go with the prohibition. This just states that the prohibition goes along with the comprehensive plan. You'll have to have findings to back up this. And I think I put in your guys' share folder the findings that were found for wind.
Yeah, there's
And
down at the bottom.
that happens at the August meeting after we gather everything from the hearing.
Correct.
Correct. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. Come on, internet. Yeah, in the documents, there's a red folder called wind findings. If you want an example of what we did for wind. So that's not in the regulations. It's just what was sent back as documentation to the commissioners when we had the wind prohibition. But I think a lot of it, either my memory's bad, which is a high possibility, or a lot of it was authored by Mr. Kopp, because I don't remember coming up with that stuff.
Yeah, so he wrote them at one of the meetings before I took it to the commissioners. We went over all of it, and I think those should be signed.
Yep. Richard Morrow. Anyway, we'll have to do likewise in August. So we'll have a public meeting, we'll have this draft, and we'll have findings. And the deliverables to the commissioners will be the recommended regulations and the findings. I don't know. Do we need to vote on this draft?
A consensus will work.
Head nods?
Yeah, it's just got to be approved by you guys to put it out for public.
For the notification, right?
No, this won't be in a notification.
Yes.
I'll probably send out a notification just to update that a copy of the draft is available
Okay.
to see.
Has there been notification put out?
Yeah, it's on the front page, remember?
What, I guess what I was thinking about was has it gone out on the notification system?
Yes,
Yeah,
Yes.
it has.
I got one.
Did you? I must not have signed up correctly.
What do you have to do to sign up for that?
Sign up off the Linn County webpage, the homepage.
Okay.
I signed up. I didn't get a notification.
I was gonna say,
I don't know if that I did it right.
I'll have to have mine to go. I did it, so
Yeah, it says notice of public hearing, amendment to Article 14, Prairie View High School, and the address, details available at linncountykansas.com.
Yeah, excuse me. Those notifications can't be too lengthy because you're only allowed so many. It's like sending a text message. You're only allowed so many characters.
So the question for tonight, is there any changes, any concerns with language? It's basically very similar to what we did with wind.
I'm good with it.
Good with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we,
Notification.
is that a consensus? Is it consensus of vote? We need a lawyer.
You need to see it.
That's all we need.
No, we don't need a lawyer.
But we do.
I think it's okay to take a vote because you're putting this this is going to be a document and you're putting this out for public viewing. So I don't think you can vote.
Well, it's not going to hurt. You can't overvote.
No.
Take a vote.
My job is to keep the meeting going.
So I-
Your job is to keep me in line.
I move we accept the format that Darren's put together as read.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
Yes.
Call it a draft, please.
Draft,
That way there's no confusion.
just like I said, a draft.
It's been moved and seconded that we accept the draft regulations for public viewing in regard to the public hearing coming up at the end of the month. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? So that's 7-1. All right, we will send that on. And just also for the sake of discussion, I wanted to, we had rules, so to speak, for the meeting, pretty well documented last time. And as we talked earlier today, we're expecting this meeting to just run like the last one. Are those rules on SharePoint somewhere?
They might be. I'll have to go
Can
through
we
and look.
resurrect them and just for a refresher,
So,
email them out or something?
yeah. So basically it was 2 minutes to speak. In the notice in the newspaper, I put that all written statements must be emailed or hand delivered to the planning and zoning department. Which I don't think those will be read at the meeting. I'll send those out on SharePoint. That way everybody's got a copy and can review them before August 13th meeting.
But those are the only ones that we're accepting this time.
Yeah.
Is that correct? The written that go to you.
They've got to come to my office, yes.
Last time that didn't work out how we thought.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Last time that didn't work out how we thought. We got a lot from Facebook, so we're gonna be
Right,
strict
so-
about it this time.
So we want to.
Well, I think this meeting, I'm not going to have sign-in sheets or anything like that. We're not looking for a count. We're not looking for pros and cons. I mean, we are, but not a total. This is more of a formal public hearing and the fact of we're there to hear statements. So you guys can make findings based on decisions.
And I'm assuming we're just gonna have to read the room as far as volume is concerned, but I'm assuming half hour, let the pros go and a half hour, let the cons go, or just.
Well, it's
visuals.
it's a public hearing. We can't set a time frame on it. I mean, if we're there till 2:00 in the morning, we're there till 2:00 in the morning.
Basically,
just
just give
open up the mic.
each person a certain amount of time.
I think you split it up and you say you allow the con to speak and then you let the pro. I don't think you want to split them, let whoever come to the podium speak.
So is that how we usually do regular public hearings? Because usually it's just everybody can come up to speak. And maybe some people don't want to be labeled.
It doesn't matter to me.
The last time they had to sign up to speak.
Yeah.
I think it's as easy telling them, if you want to talk, line up over there. First one in.
Other than
First come,
2 minute
first
time limit, there's really no
Yeah.
rule.
Give us your information.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that we'll all be keeping notes so we can keep track of, we had 120 comments that are against and 120 comments that are for. I mean, we can keep track of that without,
Are we gonna,
I think, are you talking about mixing in the pros and cons and just lining them up? Is that what you're saying?
that's what they suggested because
I would suggest you keep pros, the neutrals, and the cons separate for the committees, for the ease of the committee to hear what's being said.
Right, that's what makes it different than any other public hearing that the county holds.
Makes it different than any other public hearing.
Because normally if the commissioners have a public hearing, if we have a public hearing, everybody can come up there and speak as they please. They don't have to say, you know,
Well, I don't know if it's different than anything we've done before. What I'm saying is, for the ease of us hearing what's being said, you start mixing them in and out.
You're gonna cross the information.
Yeah,
At least you're trying to.
in Topeka, certainly all the public hearings I've been in Topeka, it's always pros, neutrals, and cons. And then the presenters are not allowed to ask the committee questions. At the end of those hearings in Topeka, the committee can in turn ask the presenter a question. It's not until it's all done, until it's all over.
It's just basically whatever rules you want to lay out. Paul.
Yeah. I mean, it's your hearing.
Your ballgame.
Our hearing, but I mean, yeah, it is a hearing of the Planning and Zoning Committee, but it's a matter of just having an orderly presentation and something sane. So whatever makes sense to us as a group, I'm fine with. I'm just going to be the one that has to give the directions, and I want to make sure we're all on the same page. So one of the key things for us, though, that I think is more important than the discussions we've had in the past, because it is a public hearing regarding proposed regulations, that we do have our radar going for salient findings that are going to be, useful in August when we're filing our response with the commissioners. So we want to be ready to follow up with a question with someone, and we want to be aware of stuff. This isn't just a Facebook comment chat. I mean, this is
We're gonna have to sort the findings out.
a significant decision that's facing the county that needs to be done in a reasonable way. And so we want to be able to sift out those things, when somebody says, it's going to cause my cows to be born with two heads. It's like, well, cite verse and chapter, and then I'll believe you.
See a picture.
But things like that, we don't have to ask questions on everything. It's just, that's worth noting, that's worth ignoring.
I agree with Dave. I recommend keeping it pros, neutral, and con, however you want to structure that. Instead of just having a mix of everything, it might help it where you can start chronologically taking notes. So you got a page full of people for it, page full of people who are neutral, and page full of who's against it. Might just make it simpler to decipher the information. That's my opinion.
I'm on board. Sounds like a good plan to me.
Essentially, we're just keeping the same format as we did last time.
Correct.
Yeah, with the exception of not signing up.
Yeah.
And I think his idea of lining them up is kind of what happened last time. They got in a line on the wall, and you can see how many people you've got to deal with. And then the idea on the questions is if we have any questions back to the presenters, the idea is to listen to all the pros before you ask questions, because you might get an answer to your question from another presenter. So you're not duplicating what's being said.
All right.
At the beginning of the meeting, do we read through it's a page and a half now, so it's not very long.
Correct.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be read.
Okay. I assume so.
And we're being streamed and recorded.
Paul, will you read that then? You'll be the one to read the draft.
it'll be either me or Darren. I'm fine with whatever. I mean, I'll sort it out with Darren. One of the two of us will read, and then I'll direct traffic throughout like Richard did last time. Throw erasers, people, stuff like that.
Are we gonna mute them after 2 minutes or?
I thought that worked well.
Yeah. Okay, so basically the consensus, if I'm reading this correctly, is that we're going to run the meeting like we did last time. Pros, neutral, cons, and sans the sign-up sheets. It'll basically be run similarly to the last meeting. Darren and I will sort out the beginnings and the introductions and all that, and then we'll turn it loose.
Sounds good.
Is there anything else anybody wants to bring up before we hammer home? All right, well, we'll call this meeting adjourned. I appreciate everyone's time. I'll see you sooner. See you on the 30th.
No one's building anything.
No.
Good.